In case you didn't know, I actually opened up my very own merch store, and there you can find some awesome keychains, stickers, and memory markers like these. They even come in bundles, so be sure to check them out. And as always, thank you so much for the support, and be sure to stay tuned for more drops coming in the future.
BT6 SAVIORHUCK is back at 4, and that means Jesmon OTK is stronger than ever. Like always, let's begin with the Digi-Egg cards. Got 4 copies of Gorimon from BT8, still one of the best Digi-Egg cards just because you can always draw one as long as you're attacking once per turn with a Digimon that has 6000 DP or higher, which is this particular Digimon. And we're really trying to get that draw power. We're always meeting that threshold very easily as well, especially when it comes to OTK combo. Being able to draw, find pieces is ultimately very crucial, and it's going to be a very, very important core concept that we're going to be talking about throughout this entire build. But now let's get into our rookies, where there's always still the 4 copies of the BT6 Huckmon itself. Really good for searching, because the whole idea is to review the top 5 cards of your deck. Being able to grab 2 pieces potentially, anything related to the archetype is just really, really good, and you want to get those 2 hits consistently enough so you can gather your pieces the quicker, and this is always the priority that you're going to be hard playing as much as possible. We got 4 copies of the BT13 Huckmon. This is the one that you primarily want to be digivolving into in your stack, just because of its main inheritable that you get to gain a memory back once per turn when you do play a Sistermon. Its normal main effect of your turn, being able to like digivolve into a AVAULT is also really nice, but you don't really need it as much because you're trying to build, and once you build and set up, you can go for the big OTK combo just there. But yeah, this is always the one that you want to prioritize when it comes to digivolving. Otherwise, the secondary one would be the BT7 one, which is also really crucial. You can juggle between like 3 and 3 because being able to cycle and find your Sistermons by revealing top 5 and adding everything is also going to be really important, because you do need to see your Sistermons when you go into your combo, and this increases the chance and likeliness of you finding all of them. And that's definitely also a very, very good when you don't see your Sistermons in the early game. So that's it for our red level 3s. Now let's talk about our Sistermons, where we bridge between the level 3s to the level 4s and continuing. So for Sistermon specifically, I'm only playing the 3 copies of Sistermon Blanc. The main reason why I'm playing only this one is because it has the on play, you trash 1 card from your hand to draw 2. Draw power, finding pieces is again really, really important, and I want to just go full gas, no breaks here. I don't need any defense whatsoever, and because this is a Jesmon OTK deck and I want to ensure I always find my combo pieces as I go along, as I play the Sistermons for free, which we'll talk about more in the combo segment later on too. And as her secondary effect, it has decoy for red and black as long as you have a Huckmon or Royal Knight traits in the board as well, which is kind of nice, but again, like I mentioned, you're really just trying to find more things with her. Then I'm playing, of course, the good old 3 copies BT6 Xiao here, just because you can potentially gain a memory when you play her for free. Otherwise, you play her for 4 costs, but you kind of effectively gain the memory back, so she's a 3 cost. Giving your Jesmon and your top end power is also really crucial, because it has all turns extra 2000 DP. The more you see this, the more value it is, especially when you play it for free, because you instantly gain so much from it. Then I like to play 2 copies of this Xiao from BT10. It's also kind of similar concept with the other Xiao, just because you can gain memory. This one lets you digivolve into a Royal Knight traits the moment you sort of on play it, and once per turn when you do digivolve into a Huckmon or Royal Knight, you get to gain a memory back from it. So really, really good, very similar when it comes to that concept, because you do win attacking combos with it too. And then last but not least, I'd like to play one of this reboot Xiao, but mainly again, I'm only playing her just because she has a potential effect of the on play to reveal the top 3 cards to help you search a bit more. It's just kind of nice to have if you ever need to sort of like play more stuff to find more things, especially in the early stages of the game as well. So that's it for all of our Sistermons. Let's now talk about our red level 4s. I'm going for 4 copies of the Security +1 Greymon from Starter Deck 1. Very simple. Being able to gain that Security +1 is the damage you need to potentially help you fulfill that OTK potential. This is my main level 4 that I actually want to get into most of my time, because once I get into it, it secures that sort of an attacking combo, and I can do essentially 4 checks again, which I'll show you guys with the combos later on, or even more. Then for the other level 4, of course, we still have to play AVAULT mainly because it's really built in within the archetype. It's nice to use its main effect of your turn when you play a Sistermon. You get to digivolve this into a SAVIORHUCK for a cost reduction of 2, potentially even for free if you can combo and sequence it nicely together, which is really nice. Otherwise, it's inheritable. It's just like the whole reason why we play the BT13 Huckmon, just so that we can gain a memory once per turn when we play Sistermon. So gaining memory helps us sort of keep turn, make more plays, climb up the Digivolution stack a little bit more smoother, which is always kind of nice to have too. As you guys can see, there's a lot of different tools to work with when it comes to building Jesmon now, which is really, really exciting and super fun. You can go for the control style, you can go for the GX style, you can go for this OTK style as well. And I actually post all the different kinds of builds and deck lists on the AVAULT Club membership and early first drafts there, and updated versions too. So if you guys want to see all of those, make sure to join. Interact with you guys, really good discussions there. And if we ever get new Jesmon support in the future, you guys will always be the first one to know. So definitely join now, and I appreciate the support. And don't forget to subscribe, turn on that notification bell to stay tuned, and give this video a like as well. That's it for level 4s. So now let's talk about our level 5s. 4 copies of the BT6 SAVIORHUCK Mon. Yes, this guy is back now at 4, and this card is the whole reason why how it helps enable the explosiveness of this deck in particular, because when Digivolving, you get to play a Sistermon from your hand for free, and with its inheritable, when attacking once per turn, if you have a Sistermon in play, you get to unsuspend this Digimon. Is the whole reason why you can make those multiple swings and go for those explosive combos once again. So you definitely want to see this as your main level 5. Then I have 2 copies of Chimeramon. Chimeramon is just really good because you tend to play a lot of your Sistermons. Ideally, it's going to be your Shields that are level 4s, so that you can DNA Digivolve, put them 2 together, go into Chimeramon, go for an extra swing in the same turn, or you can bridge into a new combo of a new stack at the same time, which is really good, and it can potentially help you pick up your SAVIORHUCK back from the trash, so you can tuck it underneath and you can get that inheritable to sort of build your Jesmon that way as well. This is why Chimeramon is really good and versatile for this particular deck. That's it for level 5s. Let's talk about our level 6s. Of course, the main boss Digimon of the deck is actually Jesmon right here from the starter deck. This one does Digivolve for 4, but it has when Digivolving Blitz when attacking, letting you play a Sistermon specifically from your hand, and your turn once per turn you play another Digimon via an effect, it gains extra 2000 DP for the turn. And lastly, with its third effect is that your turn once per turn when you play a Digimon, this Digimon gains extra 3000 DP and security +1 for the turn, so then you can go for more explosive combos again. And that is exactly how you can swing for many checks all in one go with this particular Jesmon, which is always really strong. Then I like to play 3 copies of the BT10 Jesmon X Antibody still, just because it costs 3 to Digivolve. You're able to also still play a Sistermon, a little bit more versatile with its when Digivolving effect, because you can play it from your hand or trash. It has piercing itself, and then once you when Digivolve, if you have a Sistermon in play, all of your Digimon blanket gains extra 2000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn, and you can swing over unsuspended Digimon, giving you as your main removal source of your deck. Being able to swing over their big stack, clearing their board at the same time, and OTKing really helps secure the win condition, and that's the main Jesmon as well. And one of the really neat things is because like sometimes you don't necessarily need to go into your regular Jesmon, you can just go straight into Jesmon X Antibody and still fulfill the same combo, but you just might have fewer power and fewer security, which is totally fine, because if you can go through them, you're usually strong enough anyways. That's it for level 6s with the Jesmons. Now let's just go into level 7s. 2 copies of Omnimon, just to blitz for game. That's our main other sort of game finishing combo that we can get into very easily, which is always really nice, because once we clear out all our opponent's security, we simply go into this blitz for game and win the game. All right, now let's move into our Tamers. I actually play 2 copies of Tai right here. Being able to start at 3 memory is really crucial and really important, and it's always a really powerful bonus. Not only that, because you're always building a big stack into your red Jesmon anyways, you're going to be able to swing for multiple checks and gain a security +1. You guys can see I have various methods to gain security +1 in order to ensure that we always consistently get either 1 or 2 security +1s, so then we can do multiple checks again, and it's very, very crucial because of that. And then for our options, 4 copies of From Master to Disciple. It is the core main searcher of the deck for 2 costs and helps you reduce your Digivolution cost the next time when you do. It's very, very flexible. Security effect is also great because you get to continue to do searching and then set it on the battle area, so you can use as delay effect. One of the best cards of the deck that you must have a 4 of, no questions asked. And of course, for consistency's sake and a lot of boosting and trainings, 4 copies of Offensive Training right here. Just a really important early game card that you want to see as much as possible, so you can search and find your pieces. Really, really important. And with its delay effect, it lets you immediately Digivolve into a red Digimon for a reduced cost of 2. And you can climb up the stack very, very quickly, especially when you combo and synergize with From Master to Disciple as well. Okay, so for tech choices, Got this other Huckmon right here, which is another really decent one that you can Digivolve into sometimes. It lets you sort of gain a memory with its main effect, Go Turn Once Return, where you play a Sistermon, you get to gain one back, and then it's inhurtable, giving extra 1000 DP, all turns as well. It's kind of neat, but not super necessary because I like to prioritize the other two Huckmons we have because of consistency's sake, where it helps to search and sort of bridge combos too. Then we have Gaussmon right here, just because there's a lot of training cards running around. Sometimes you might be able to Floodgate, but the whole reason why I don't want to include this card anyways is just because I want to focus on OTKing, I want to focus on the offensive side of things. I don't really need to slow the game down because every memory and every turn is just really valuable to help you search, and that's what you should be prioritizing instead of trying to slow down your opponents, which is not going to really give you too much value when you stall out the game anyways. Then we got to talk about the Sistermon Blanc right here from BT6, which gives all your other Sistermons blockers. Like I mentioned earlier, the whole reason why I don't want to play this one is because I'm trying to focus all the offensive side of things and consistency when it comes to searching. Sometimes you don't find any search pieces, which is why you really need to play the other one, and being able to draw 2 cards potentially other than just one makes a whole lot of difference. Overall, the whole idea is not trying to play defensively. We're going full gas on the offense side of things, which is why, again, I did not include this. Then we got the BT6 AVAULT, which is still really good when you need to sort of get rid of floodgates. It is one of this deck's biggest weakness, and being able to remove it sort of gives you that sort of opportunity to play again, which is always kind of nice to have too. Then for the other SAVIORHUCK, the BT13 one is still also really good just because it can potentially, reduce further Digivolution costs and helps you play more Sistermons when you're attacking once per turn as well. But overall, there's really not a whole lot of room because the whole focus is mainly on the BT6 SAVIORHUCK, which is the main focus of the deck, which we're trying to bring back with it as well. So that's why I didn't have room to sort of include this either. Then there's also the BT6 Jesmon to talk about. You guys know how I mentioned that Jesmon X Antibody is kind of nice because it only costs 3 to Digivolve. This is pretty much sort of a similar reason. It can cost 3 and you can kind of get into it, which is kind of neat. And then you can sort of play more Sistermons as well. This card can also gain piercing and extra DP as well, which is not highly necessary at all times, but definitely a neat one to sort of include as well if you don't want to play the starter deck Jesmon instead. Other than that, if you want a bit more control, this one's also a good one, the BT13 one, because of its potential of blowing up boards, and also for the same reason because it only costed 3 to Digivolve, which is kind of memory efficient, and it kind of means a lot sometimes having that 1 memory difference instead. And then for other option cards, you can also play Red Memory Boost if you really want to dig deeper in terms of search, but you guys can see there's from Master the Disciple, there's offensive training, there's not really a whole lot of room to play more of these. So again, juggle the ratios based on what you prefer. Otherwise, Gravity Crush is kind of neat as well, just because you can suddenly gain 2 memory, especially if you're going for an OTK combo. You can really surprise the opponents with that extra memory gain, which they don't see it coming. So it's kind of nice to include that too. And because this is a wide format, you definitely need some bit of removal. If you do want to play a bit of defensive stuff and option cards to sort of deal with the opponent's board, Crimson Blaze is just really good because, again, there's a lot of bodies currently, and this card is just incredibly good in the current meta as well because of that. Lastly, I also included a copy of ADP just in case if you ever want to do the OTK combo with a more safety net, just because you can stop your opponent's options and no surprises and whatsoever, which is also kind of neat as a one-off tech too. All right, combos. Jesmon OTK is about the stack building process, so of course you always want to be seeing your level 3s and then your level 4s, which I really want to see Greymon in most cases. Level 5, really want to be seeing SAVIORHUCK in most cases, and then for level 6s, it can be either Jesmon or Jesmon X as you go through. So it's nice that you can see your stack, all the way through, but because Jesmon is very piece reliant, at the same time, you really need to see your Sistermons, and the more you see, the better it is because the more choices you have when it comes to playing which one you want. These Sistermons gain your memory. Also, they're really more important when you go late game into your actual OTK combo as you're building your stack. But one of the most important things are actually your searching pieces. If you don't see your full stack aligned, which is very likely because after all, it is Jesmon, it is a stack building deck, you want to be seeing your Huckmons early stages. You want to be seeing both from Master Disciple and offense training all at the same time. These cards help you search for your pieces. So if you see multiple of them, it's always great. You're going to end up playing a lot of them, and then you go for that 1-turn explosive combo play just like that very easily. So of course, Huckmon helps you search your multiple targets, grab multiple of them, and of course, sometimes if you have time, establish it on the board as early as you can. It's also going to be really valuable because you can then play 2 and 2 costs to even choke your opponent down to 1 memory. So of course, you hatch your egg, either Digivolve into this Huckmon or whether this Huckmon, whichever you need given the situation, or whichever you see first may fit. and then you want to Digivolve into your Greymon. Now, let's just say you start at 3 memory, you can push out eventually, you can immediately use Offense Training, and plus even from Master Disciple, but make sure to use from Master Disciple first, because from Master Disciple is a little bit more flexible. It's letting you reduce the Digivolution cost by 1 the next time you do it. As for Offense Training, you reduce it immediately right off the bat, just like that. So like I mentioned, you start your memory at 3. Let's just say you use from Master Disciple and the combos of Offensive Training, you immediately Digivolve into SAVIORHUCK. Once you Digivolve into SAVIORHUCK, you can play your Sistermons. Sometimes you don't have the luxury to see all the different kinds of Sistermons you have. Therefore, sometimes in the early stages of the game, which is why I like Sistermon Blanc from the start deck a bit more, because I can hard play this at the early stages of the game to trash 1 and draw 2 to cycle faster. Same goes for this CL, which is kind of nice, which I only play in 1 of, but that's totally fine. Same idea when it comes to that. And then when you later on get into these CLs, that's when you have a nice luxury, because you can then play this CL, gain a memory, because you played at the CL, Huckmon, gain another memory, just like that, and then you want to Digivolve into your either Jesmon. Ideally, Digivolving into this one first is always neat and nicer, because then it only costs 4. Or if you have more Offense Trainings or more from Master Disciples, that's what you get to go for. Sometimes you don't even need to have tie to start off at 3, but let's just say you even start at 1, you can sort of continue this combo, because then you can immediately just blitz and play another Sistermon from your hand. Always make sure to cycle your inheritable effects from bottom to top. That's how I like to do it with Jesmon. You draw 1 with Guri, and then your Huckmon will gain a memory, but if you have the other Huckmon, you would cycle this Huckmon to find more Sistermons. Make sure you have Unsuspend, because if you have a Sistermon, or otherwise play the Sistermon first and then Unsuspend, then let's just say you can be very versatile now. Play the Sistermon CL, which lets you Digivolve into this Jesmon X Antibody, and then with the Jesmon effect right there, because you play a Digimon, gain security +1, gain extra 3000 DP for the turn. When you Digivolve into this Jesmon here, then you're gonna get to play another Sistermon. Let's just say we really want to play more of this Xiao, because you want to beef up and have extra DP and also gain memory at the same time. Because you Digivolve here, you gain another memory back as well too. Really, really strong. So here you swing straight into the security like that for 1, 2, 3, 4 checks. If you chipped away at their opponent's security at that time, you're basically finishing the game right here at this immediate moment. If not, they're still down at 1 security, you get to swing again, and you can finish off with a rookie that you have on the side, or there's actually 2 ways to finish the game. 1, Omnimon Blitz for game, or if you have Chimeramon, make sure you put 2 level 4 Sistermon Shields together, and then you can just swing for game there as well. If not, you can also still bridge and Digivolve your combos just like that, but it's very, very simple, really, really explosive, all in one go, and sometimes your opponent don't even see it coming. Now, in a situation, sometimes you don't get the luxury to see all these Jesmons, so you can still Digivolve into Jesmon X Antibody here itself instead, just for 3 costs, and making sure you can sort of keep turn while you're playing your Sistermons, and making sure you have enough DP. But this is also still really nice, because once you Digivolve into this, skipping that Jesmon, this turn, you can swing over your opponent's Digimon that are unsuspended with Jesmon X2. So you can swing over something, pierce at the same time. Instead, you do fewer checks, but you still do 1, 2, and 3 checks in total if you have tie and sort of this combination. Therefore, I really like to play a combination of whether these 3, because these all give you security +1. Therefore, in some situations, you're not gonna ideally see all of it. Therefore, when you're missing one or the other, these will fill in the gaps so they can still do a lot of damage all in one go at the same time. But anyways, you unsuspend, you swing again, and then you repeat the same, either go into Blitz Omni, either go into Chimeramon to finish the game. Very, very straightforward again, just like that. So is he really back and better than ever? You tell me. Watch this gameplay video right here of this deck in action as we one-shot the opponents right now. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video. And this is Vault, signing out.